I love me some greens. Grandma, are you cooking greens?
Well, y'all. Now, y'all know me. Good morning. I'm Rose from Grandma Rose's Open Pantry. And Grandpa Roy is behind the camera.
Don't tell me you're experimenting again.
Well, I've never done this particular thing, but we're going to try it today. I don't know if y'all love rutabagas. Roy and I love rutabagas. Now, this was a pretty big rutabaga. I've already got some of it cut and peeled because I didn't want to show y'all doing the whole thing on camera. I've got some fresh Brussels sprouts here that I've got them in water, and I'm going to clean them. When I say clean them, that just means I'm going to take some of these outer tough leaves off like that. I've got a cabbage and I've got some apples right here. I've got 2 apples cut up, and I've got some ham right here that I had in the freezer and I took it out. Well, we're going to do a cabbage dish, but it's also going to have Brussels sprouts, apples, cabbage, and ham. I'm not sure if I'm going to put my rutabaga in it or not. If I do, I'm going to have to go ahead and cook my rutabaga some, and I steam my rutabaga in my little microwave steamer here. You can cook it in water on top of the stove, but it takes a lot longer to cook than your Brussels sprouts or your cabbage. So I'll decide after I get it cooked whether I'm going to put it in or not. It'll already be done, so when I decide. But I just take my knife. This is the way I do the rutabaga. I just take my knife and I cut it in half, then I cut it in quarters, then I cut it again, because rutabagas are they're kind of hard to peel. Okay, so then I just peel them. But it's a lot better to peel them in small sections than it is try to peel them in big old sections, because you can't hardly do that. So kind of like a sweet potato sometimes. It's better to sometimes do it in small sections than it is if you're peeling one raw. All right, now put this in a trash can. I'm not going to show you the whole process of me cutting this rutabaga up, but the way I like to do mine, I like to cut it.
It helps to have a big knife like that.
Oh, it helps to have a big knife.
It's almost a cleaver.
Yeah, it is. My daughter asked me last year, she said, Mom, what do you want for this year, what do you want for Mother's Day? I said, I want a good big knife. And so she said, well, go online, pick it out, and I'll order it for you. This is what I picked out. I think this is from Northern Company or something like that. It has a leather little case that it goes in. It is Northern.
Yeah, it's a company of tools and a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So, all right. So I'm just, y'all see how I'm just cutting this in little chunks. I'm not dicing it, I'm just cutting it in really small chunks, okay? I'm not going to take up a lot of time. All right, this one is a little bit wider, so I'm going to cut it like this again, so they'll be really small, okay? All right, now the way I will cook these is I will put them in my steamer here, and I will put a little bacon grease in them. I will not put any water, and I'll put a little salt and a little pepper. But I'm not going to put any water in them because I don't need to. So I'm going to finish cutting these up, and then I'm going to get them in my microwave, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how I'm going to do my cabbage, my apples, and my Brussels sprouts. Okay, y'all, I like to cut up some of my green leaves because they make my cabbage so pretty. Look, I always save some of my green leaves because I love for my food to be pretty. And those dark green leaves, and I even put more than that if I can get them. But some of the cabbage you buy now doesn't have many green leaves on it. Okay, I'm taking some of that core out. Now, the way I'm going to cut my cabbage, I'm cutting it in little strips. Now, some people put big old pieces of cabbage and they cook their cabbage. I like mine just in little chunks like that. All right. I'll do this one like that. Then just cut it in little chunks. But you cut yours up any way you want to. Some people like big old leaves, but I don't. I don't know if I'm going to do that whole piece or not. I'm going to take some of this core out of this one. Okay. Now that leaf right there, see how it's dark? So I'll take that out. I don't want that in my cabbage. Got my rutabagas on in the microwave. I had to change, I've got two sizes of my microwave steamers. One is a 1 quart, one's a 3 quart. So I had to change it because it was too much to go in my 1 quart, so I put it in my 3 quart. I've cooked them 10 minutes and they weren't done, so I'm cooking them 10 more minutes. But you have to cook them like an hour, hour and a half on top of the stove. So. All right, I am not gonna cut up any more cabbage. So that's my cabbage. Now, the way I'm gonna do my apple, because this is cabbage, apple, Brussels sprouts, and maybe rutabagas, we'll see. So I'm just going, I have halved it, quartered it, and that's lemon juice in the bottom. And I'm just doing it in like bite-sized pieces, just like that. Okay. Because I want it about like my cabbage. Alright, I'm not going to do this whole apple. Now, let me show you how I clean my Brussels sprouts. You take a fresh Brussels sprout and you peel all these outside tough leaves off. Just like that. See, some of them have a little dark spot on them. So you peel that off, just like that. Same way you do a cabbage when a cabbage has a bad leaf on it. And I just call these baby cabbages. I don't know. I think that's the reason I love them so good is because they remind me of baby cabbages. Turns out. But this is the way that I clean my Brussels sprouts.
They're in the same cold family.
Yeah. All right. Now, when I get that done, now all of this is going to cook about the same amount of time. I'm just going to take my Brussels sprouts and cut them in half. And I'm just going to put them in with my cabbage. I think I'm going to take that little, see that little brown end right there? Okay. Take it off. But I'm just going to cut my Brussels sprouts. Make sure you cut that little, but don't cut it up so close that your Brussels sprouts come apart.
Come unraveled?
Yeah, you just want you still want some of that root because you do not want your Brussels sprouts to come apart. Okay, and if I get a big one, I may cut it in 4s, like that one. That's a big one. But these smaller ones, I'm just going to cut that tip off and cut them in half. All right, I'm going to finish this. By the time I get through with this, then I think my rutabagas will be done, and I'll decide if I'm going to put them in with my cabbage. So we'll be back in just a little bit.
Okay, Grandmama.
All right, y'all.
Coming down to decision time, isn't it?
I got my ham cut up, my apples cut up, and there's lemon juice over them. A little bit of cabbage on my table here. I got my Brussels sprouts cleaned and cut. Got my cabbage cut up.
Okay.
Now, this is my rutabagas. 20 minutes steamed in the microwave, and they are absolutely. I put 1 tablespoon of water, but I didn't need to, but I wasn't sure. I put 2 tablespoons of bacon grease, some salt and pepper, and I cooked them 20 minutes. They're perfect. And I am gonna put them in my dish. So, y'all see my pan here. Jenny, my daughter, gave this to me for Mother's Day. I think Mother's Day. I absolutely love it. And I didn't have a frying pan that was big enough, so I am going to use this to cook.
Yeah, there wasn't a frog in there.
Yeah, me too. All right, I'm putting 2 tablespoons of bacon grease. Bacon grease now, y'all. 2 tablespoons. And I do not keep my bacon grease in the refrigerator. It doesn't last that long. So, and in the wintertime, well, even in the summertime, I do not keep. Somebody said, you don't keep your bacon grease in the refrigerator? No, I do not. I guess if I didn't use it often, I might would, but I use it almost every day, so I do not.
Your mama never kept hers in there?
No. Matter of fact, Mom always kept hers
That's
because
right.
of her stove. But I don't keep grease over my stove in case there's a grease fire or something. So, but that's where Mom always kept hers. All right. I'm putting my Brussels sprouts and my cabbage in at the same time. Whew. This is going to shrink down, but it's going to be a pan full to begin with. Y'all, this is going to be so good. Wow. All right. I'm going to let this cook a little bit. Well, I just keep throwing things. All right, I'm going to put my apples in there at the same time.
Now, I'm surprised at that.
There's everything.
I would have thought you'd said I'm not going to put them in as early because they might overcook.
Nope.
Okay.
Because it doesn't take cabbage and Brussels sprouts long to cook.
Okay.
So it takes apples about the same amount of time. All right. I'm going to wait till it cooks down a little bit before I put my ham in there. And it's going to be almost done. And I'm not going to salt and pepper it till it cooks down a little bit because I want to be able to stir it. And I'm going to put a little garlic powder in it. So I am going to put the lid on this. And I'm going to let it cook. It's on medium-high. And when it gets to about half the volume, then I'll add my salt, pepper, garlic, ham, and let it finish cooking. So we'll be back probably in about 10 or 15 minutes. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? All right. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of salt. That's about a teaspoon, and about probably half a teaspoon of pepper.
That looks beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful?
I know that's going to be good.
Okay, now see, you see that juice in there?
Mm-hmm.
All right, do not put any water in it because it will, you want your juice to come out of your cabbage.
If you put a top on it, right?
Yeah, if you put a lid on it. All right, now, let me get back up a little bit, I'm going to put a little bit of garlic powder. Not much, probably, that was maybe a half a teaspoon, maybe. All right.
But season it to taste.
Oh yeah, if you don't want garlic, don't put garlic. All right, now, I'm going to put ham. Now, I'm not sure yet. I'm not going to use all this ham. That's about 2 cups of ham.
Yeah, that looks about right.
Yeah, and I had this ham in the refrigerator. I mean in the freezer, and I took it out and cut it up this morning. Because I want some of that ham flavor to cook in my vegetables. All right, now in goes
Rutabagas.
rutabagas. Now I forgot to tell you, I put about half a teaspoon of stevia in with these, because rutabagas sometimes aren't always don't have enough sugar in them.
I'm telling
So
you.
I put about a half a teaspoon of stevia.
That's an appetizing one dish meal you're
Look at that. Wow.
putting together here,
It is a
girl.
one dish except for the rutabagas. And now,
Well, you steamed them and added them.
wow. Look at that. Okay. I'm going to put my lid
Back home?
back on. And it's probably going to cook till, I don't know, 10 or 15 more minutes until my apples get done, my Brussels sprouts get done, my cabbage get done. So, we'll bring y'all back for our taste test whenever it gets ready. Okay, y'all, I want y'all, if you're talking about something pretty, look at this. Wow. Y'all look at that. Brussels sprouts are cooked perfectly. The apples, the rutabagas, the cabbage, the ham. Now, wouldn't this be a beautiful dish to take to church?
Whoa.
Oh my goodness, or take anywhere.
How about the
Wow.
Thanksgiving dinner table?
Wow, y'all look at that. Now, this is a meal in one right here.
Yep. Just add turkey.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna taste of it for you. You want to taste, baby?
You can go ahead.
Okay, hold on. Let me get a fork.
I already know I'm going to like that.
Wow.
It's got all those vegetables.
Y'all,
This
look
is
at
healthy,
this.
low carb,
And it cooked.
gluten-free.
It maybe cooked 20, 25 minutes. You just have to cook it till your apples and your Brussels sprouts get ready, because your cabbage doesn't take very long. But your cabbage is not overcooked either. Y'all, I want a piece of rutabaga. I want a piece of apple.
Well, the fork ain't big enough to hold everything you've got in there.
Oh my word.
You like that?
Look at that Brussels sprout. Look how green. It keeps its green flavor, but yet it's done through and through. Y'all.
Maybe you better come over here and let me taste it.
Oh my goodness.
We're just going to swap the video out.
Okay. That I keep saying,
One meal.
We are going to make this one.
Any night of the week, any
Y'all have
weekend.
got to make this one. All right, baby. All right, you go over there and taste. Did he get enough close up of that? Why don't y'all look at that? Oh my. I didn't even get a piece of ham. We're double dipping because ain't nobody gonna eat it but us and maybe Mike. Because I'm telling you, we'll eat all this.
That is a delicious.
Isn't that good?
Never tasted anything quite like that.
It's all those flavors.
Yep.
The apple, the rutabaga. Now, if you don't like rutabagas, you don't have to put them in. But we love rutabagas. And they go so well with the apple and the Brussels sprouts and the cabbage.
You know somebody's going to get after us for eating out of the dish.
I just told them.
I know.
There ain't nobody going to eat it but us and maybe Mike. So it's all right if we eat out of the dish.
You talking about good?
Matter of fact, it's now 12:54. We are fixing to eat lunch.
Now, let me tell you something. Her Lacy cornbread recipe is 4 carbs per piece. So if you want to, make you a couple of, because there's no real carbs in this hardly.
Right.
Anything.
Hardly at all.
Rutabaga, I guess.
All right, y'all. Food feeds the family, family feeds the heart, God feeds the soul.
I was hot.
Put deliciousness back in your one dish meal right here.
Brussels sprouts are good.
I know. See y'all
Rutabagas are
next.
good.
See y'all next time.